Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So, hands up if you want to get paid every single week. Well, I know I certainly do. I'm sure most people do. I think all the ETFs shifted from monthly to weekly paying because everyone wanted to get paid weekly. And now I see a lot of posts being like, when can I get paid every single day of the week? Well, I'm going to reveal to you how you can get paid every single day of the week, bar the weekends, of course. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to give you my two best ETFs from each day of the week. And that way you can just make money every single day. All right, before we get into it, we do, of course, have the disclaimer. This video is not financial advice. This channel is purely based on my thoughts as I navigate my own investment journey. Please always do your own research. So let's get paid every single day of the week. First up, Monday. What have we got for Monday? Now, of course, these change based on the big firms they pay on certain days. So there are some days that it's harder to actually find ETFs, but I think I've got a couple of good ones for each day. And of course, we start off with Monday, and it is blocks and MAGY. These two actually made it into one of my recent videos, which was all about zero NAV erosion, which ETFs have made good total return, but also maintain their NAV, maintain the share price. They're not getting destroyed by NAV erosion or NAV decay. Blocks is from X Funds. That's the crypto ETF, invests in different crypto related companies. And that's from X Funds. It's the only X Funds one on here, but I believe they are bringing out two new ETFs in the coming weeks, which look very exciting. One to do with defense, I think, and one to do with rare earth minerals, I believe it is. So I've got my eyes on them. I will let you know when they get released and maybe do a video on them because I'm very excited about two of the new funds they are releasing. But of course, okay, so blocks for Monday, MAGY also for Monday. Now, this is another popular ETF. It's based on the MAG 7 from ROUNDHILL. It's just a standard covered call ETF. But two great options for Monday. I think MAGY, it maintains its NAV really well, pays you good distribution. Blocks, also a great option. Honorable mentions, I got none. I got nothing. Monday was kind of a hard day to find. Most of the big players don't pay on Mondays. So blocks and MAGY, I think, are great two options. If you yourself know of any other good options, or you're invested in any high yield ETFs that pay on a Monday and you think they're a good option, they should be in here, let me know in the comments. All right, so let's move on to Tuesday. What do we got? We have got, drum roll. Oh, where do we go? Here. All right, Tuesday. HOOW and GOO. Two that have been absolutely crushing it this year. Obviously, the Robinhood ETF from ROUNDHILL, it's out massive. It's had an absolutely cracker of a year. And Google has been absolutely smashing it. Obviously, one of the MAG 7, but Google with its AI or Gemini just released Gemini 3. It's been doing good things in AI. It's just been crushing it, crushing earnings and stuff, been doing really well. And so those two are what I would go for on Tuesday. Both from ROUNDHILL, both weekly pay, so they are both leveraged, 120% leverage. So you've got to be careful with them. I wouldn't buy them at the top. You've got to look for dips and buy it, somewhere around the bottom. Be careful when you buy because they're leveraged on the upside and also the downside. So if Robinhood goes up 10%, then it will go up 12%, which is great until it goes down 10%, you're going down 12%. If it goes down 20%, you're going down 24%. That doesn't sound like a huge difference, but that will compound. And in a bear market, you will get annihilated. So something to be very careful of. Now, honorable mentions, of course, from the ROUNDHILL weekly pay space, AMDW. I'm up a lot on AMDW because it's done pretty well recently. NVDW and PLTW, all within that ROUNDHILL weekly pay area. AMD, NVIDIA, and Palantir all had very good years, all done very well. And you could pretty much get into any of these five. And I think as long as you're buying well, you're buying at the right times, not buying at the tops, because I think they will get smashed if we have a big correction or go into a bear market. You're probably not going to be too happy. So I'd be careful when you buy these because of the leverage, but all very good options. Okay, Wednesday. What do we got? What do we got for Wednesday? Let's do it. NVII REX, my first REX ETF. Now, the more I research REX, the more I love it. I did a video on it recently, Rex versus Roundhill. And I think the problem with Rex is they only had 4 ETFs out until very recently. So they only had 4 ETFs, NVII, TSII, the Coinbase one, so CIII, and the MicroStrategy one or Strategy one, MSII. And of course, those two Bitcoin crypto ones, MSII and COI, have been getting crushed. So they only had 2 really that have been doing well, and they have been doing better than pretty much any high yield ETF in the market. NVII, it was even better than NVDW, TSII, better than TSLW, better than TSII, better than all the others. And I just love the REX strategy. It's half uncapped upside and half making income from covered calls. So there's a bit of leverage in there. You capture the upside, but you also make money from the covered call strategy. But then the downside isn't as much as the Roundhill one. So you're not going down 12% if the underlying goes down 10%. You'll only go down, I think it's about 10%, maybe just a touch over, but not much. It's more of a blend, more of a combination between YIELDMAX and Roundhill, but probably a little bit skewed towards the Roundhill end. But I think it's a great blend, and the more I research into them, the more I like them. I've actually just made moves. I've moved pretty much most of my remaining Misty shares into MSII and most of my remaining Coney shares into COII, because I think I want to capture that upside as we rebound back. And I think 2026 will be a good year for crypto and Bitcoin. So I want to position myself accordingly. And because Rex can capture that upside and YIELDMAX don't effectively. So I want to get out of the YIELDMAX funds because I want to capture that upside. That's what I like about them. All right, so that's NVII. And then WPAY, I really love WPAY. I know it's taken a bit of a beating. It's a basket of all the weekly pay ETFs. So it's got all your GOOs, your HOOs, your AMDWs, your MSTWs, the ones that have been doing bad as well. They've got everything in there. So you've got to bear that in mind because they do have some crypto plays in there which have been absolutely tanking. But I think ultimately this will do very well in 2026. And it just depends on what you think is coming. I personally think, it seems like liquidity is coming to the market. We've got midterms next year. I think Trump is going to run the markets real hot. And I think he's, there'll be injections of liquidity all over the place. And I think the stock market, I could be wrong. It's not financial advice, not a crystal ball. Probably, now I've said it, it'll probably go down. So don't do what I do, but this is just my thought process on it. I think we'll have a good year next year, both in Bitcoin and crypto and in the stock market and in all these kind of ETFs here. So honorable mentions TSII, that's the Tesla Rex ETF. Been doing so well as well. CWII, most people won't know what this is. This is CoreWeave ETF, so CoreWeave's stock. It's a bit more of a risky play, but I actually got into it about a week ago because it seems like it's at a very good price point right now. Seems like it's got a lot of bullish catalysts going for it. So I got into it with a small position, and I think it will do pretty well in the next 6 months or so. COII, of course, it's been getting crushed. Coinbase has not been doing well. Bitcoin's not been doing well. But I think now's a good time to be getting in, just my opinion. Not financial advice. Don't do what I say. Don't do what any YouTuber says. Just do your own research, make your own moves. But this is my thought process on it all. But yeah, NVII, WPAY, great funds. I think this is a great mix for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What do we got for Thursday? We have got Chippy, the first YIELDMAX ETF. I know people hate YIELDMAX, but you got to look at Chippy's returns. And Chippy is probably my favorite YIELDMAX ETF. I think it's a winner. I don't love YIELDMAX's capped upside. I don't, but I think that Chippy, it's a basket of semiconductor stocks, and it just runs covered calls on them. But I just think its price return is good, its total return is good, and I think it will keep doing well as we go into 2026. So I think it's a great option for Thursday. Second one is YETH. Now, this is controversial because YETH is down big time. It's probably the most down out of all these ETFs. And it's based on Ethereum. So it's Roundhill's Ethereum ETF. Again, it's just a covered call ETF, but Ethereum's been tanking recently with the crypto crash that's been happening over the last 3 weeks or a month or however long it's been. But I think Ethereum, again, maybe I'm just a crypto bull, but I think Ethereum will do very well over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And I think now is a good time to be getting into it. And I've got a position in it. I think it will do well. But again, just my thoughts on it. Other honourable mentions are YMAG. I think YMAG's a great play. GPTY, LFGY, ALTI. Everyone's hating on it at the moment. But it has been a bad few weeks in the market. So I do think it may be returning. But it's not one of my favourite ETFs. I just thought it's worth a mention because it is one of the more popular ones. But I would be sticking with Chippy. And at the time being, whilst Ethereum is priced well, I'd go with YETH. But otherwise, I'd probably go Chippy and something like a YMAG. I like YMAG myself. But I actually hedge it with MAGs, which is a growth ETF of the MAG 7, because YMAG pays quite high distribution. I hedge it with buying a bit of YMAG, buy a bit of MAGs, you get your growth and you get your distribution. That's what I like to do with it. Just my thoughts. Okay, Friday. So we got 4 days of the week. What's the last one? We have got HOOY and PLTY. So again, YIELDMAX funds, because YIELDMAX are the ones that pays that group 2 on Fridays. No one else really does. So HOOY, obviously Robinhood's had a great year. So again, it's very similar to Tuesday. If you're still bullish on Robinhood, then maybe it's the one to get into. If you don't want to double up and have HOOY, then just choose something else like an SMCY or an HIYY. People probably don't know too much about HIYY. It's one of the newer funds. I got into it fairly recently because, again, HIMS, which is the underlying stock, Hims and Hers Health, is that how you say it? I'm quite bullish on that stock. I've been researching about it quite a bit since they launched this HIYY ETF, and it seems there's a lot of good things coming for that underlying stock, and it looks like it's priced very well. Analysts see it as a buy at the moment, so I got into it with a bit of a small position. I think that's a bit of a dark horse in this space, HIYY. So I bought into it, got a small position, nothing too risky. But I think it will do well based on the research that I've done. So HOOY, PLTY, if you don't want extra Robinhood exposure, maybe PLTY and SMCY or HIYY or one of the other good performing ETFs from YIELDMAX. I know that people are kind of hating on YIELDMAX at the moment, but the facts are that HOOY and PLTY have done really, really well this year. You know, in total returns, you would have done brilliantly, as we will get into right now. So this is total returns of all of them. So yeah, we've got all 10 ETFs plus some honorable mentions, depending on what kind of mix you like. And then I'm just going to compare them and see how we would have done over the last, let's do year to date first. We'll go year to date. And I've got all of these 10 funds in there. HOOY, there you go. It's a YIELDMAX one, up 87% total return. GOO from Roundhill will be second, 80%. HOOW, 80%. PLTY, like these are great total returns for any of these guys. Chippy, NVII, MAGY, 25%. That's a more, that's a more stable one, MAGY, because it keeps its share price pretty stable. Blocks, obviously that's crypto. For it to be up 20% is amazing to me because crypto's been absolutely getting tanked and smashed in the last few weeks or so. WPAY only up 5%. It's fairly new and it hasn't done well, obviously, over the past few weeks with what's been happening in the market. And in YETH, minus 34%. And you'll be like, Luke, why are you including YETH? It is absolutely bloody awful. Just depends on your positioning, your research. I think Ethereum is it's got to be in a bottoming zone for me. And I think it will do well over the next, as I said, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So I think it's a good buy at this point in time. But again, crypto is risky. It could go down even more. I don't have a crystal ball. No one knows what's going to happen. So it is a riskier play. And, it's not advice by any stretch of the imagination. But those, if you look at that list, you can see, if you'd bought into all 10 of those, you'd be averaging 40, 50, 60% total return. Be pretty amazing. And then if we look at, so that's year to date, but if we look at max, because some of those hadn't actually launched more than, a few months ago. So just from a few months from September, October, November. You still got Goo and Who up 46, up 35. Chippy's just so stable and good. I know it's a YIELDMAX fund. I know people are dissing it, but it's their best, I reckon. HOOY, PLTY, NVII, love the Rex ones, NVII. WPAY, I think it's going to do well. MAGY, it's stable. It's good if you like stable NAV. MAGY's your guy. Blocks, a little bit riskier because it's crypto. And obviously the two crypto ones are at the bottom there because of the last couple of months. It's been tanking. Yeah, down 27%, but good opportunity in my opinion at the moment. Anyway, just thought that would be of interest. That is how you can get paid every single day of the week. 2 ETFs for each day to get paid, so that you're paid every single day and you're winning at life. Reinvest those distributions, go on holiday, pay your bills, do whatever you need to do. And yeah, I think it's a good mix going into 2026. Anyway, I hope that's of some value. I'll leave it there. Please chuck us a like and a subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.